If you're watching this video, you're probably ready to take your home fitness to the next level. And what better to do that with these Bowflex 1090 dumbbells. What's up, this is Anthony from Everything Practical, and today I will be reviewing the Bowflex 1090 adjustable dumbbells. These dumbbells have a range of 10 to 90 pounds, and in kilos, that's 4 to 41 kilos. Now, I'm not really going to be showing you any workouts, but I'll be going through all the features of these dumbbells and what I personally like about the dumbbells, and some things Bowflex could eventually improve on with these dumbbells in the future. Now, to show you the really cool and very cleverly engineered system behind this, I'm going to go through and show you each of the settings of the weights so you can see how the weights are taken off and put back on for each different setting of the weights. Since mine are on the floor, I've strategically placed them a little bit of a width apart. So when I pick them up, I put my foot here in the middle for a bit of stability. Now, the reason these dumbbells are so practical to use is because you can use just these two dumbbells and you can adjust them to any weight between 10 pounds and 90 pounds. In kilos, that's 4 kilos to 41 kilos. And it's really, really easy to change. All you do is you turn these dials and then you pick up the dump. After these are set, you want to set them to the same number on both sides, and then after they're set, you just pick them up out of the rack, and then when you're done, you just put them back in and you readjust for the weight, and then you can pop them back out again. And of course, one big advantage of these dumbbells is how fast you're able to change them. So if you come in here, you do a workout, you do a couple curls or something, and then you're doing drop sets, and you can easily put them back in, change to the weight that you want, wrong way, and then go right back at it again. So this is really a nice advantage of these dumbbells. Now, when you go to put the weights back in, you want to make sure everything's centered and lined up, and you do it nice and slow to be sure they don't get stuck. Now, this is a negative that I run into often, that if it's not lined up, it's not going to easily go in. So you have to maybe give it a little jiggle so it falls right back into place. Now, when I first got these, I was a little bit worried on how they would stay in place when I was using them, because you can see when you pull them out, there's not much support inside. There's just these little plates inside holding all the weight together. But actually, when you take this out and you're using it, and say you have it up, you can't twist the weight selector and choose the weight or change the weight. So these are stable inside. So if you accidentally bump them or anything, they're not gonna fall out while you use them. And so this is even while they're out, and they're very, very stable, and I've gotten very comfortable with using these weights. So to change weights, somehow it's only actuated to change the weight when it's inside. So now that it's back inside the holder, you can change the weights again and choose the weight that you want. Whew, that was a little heavier than I thought. Now you can see that these are a little bit on the long side, but they don't really get in the way when you're doing any types of exercises. So I'll show you now here with the bench press that they don't really get in the way or clash. And if they do, you can do some small modification to get around that. So as you go up and you twist, this is a decent space between your hands to do a bench press anyways. And if you want to get closer, then of course you can rotate the dumbbells so that you can get your hands a bit closer if you want to do a closer grip. So here you go. And then if you want to twist up, see, I don't even bump the dumbbells when I'm going up, even though my hands are pretty straight. So, but yeah, even though they're large, they don't get in the way of each other. Now another exercise you might be worried about clashing the dumbbells with is the shoulder press. But here I'll show you again that with the shoulder press you don't run into any issues. And then of course, if you're worried about bumping the dumbbells together, you can always do a little hand twist like this. Or just leave your hands straight. Now one of the main reasons I got these dumbbells compared to the power block dumbbells is so that I could do some behind the head tricep extensions like this. And you can see that you don't really bump into your head because the weights have a nice little cutout at the end, so they're not completely round, and it gives you just the amount of space to miss your head when you're doing this exercise. Now one thing I have to mention about these weights is that the handles are really sharp here on top and then really smooth here on the side. So they're not the easiest to grip all the time. And actually, so I'll show you this a bit closer. So here you can see that it's quite rough and it's actually quite a bit hard here on the tops, and here on the sides, it's very, very smooth. So when you're lifting, it can be a little bit slippery here on the sides. So what I've done is I actually had to use very thin gloves when I'm working out with these weights. Another option is you can tape them up with some athletic tape or something around the tops of these so that you have a nice grip everywhere around the handle. And actually, just from lifting a little bit, maybe you can see on my hands here that there's some indentions from the handle. One thing I'm going to be surely getting in the future is a stand for these dumbbells. There's a stand by Selectech that holds these dumbbells perfectly. Now the stand from Selectech is a very nice height off the ground to where you don't have to bend over every time to reach the dumbbells. Even after a few months of using these dumbbells, you can quickly tell that there's a bit of strain on your back that's really not necessary for just picking up and putting down the dumbbells every single time you use them. Now to answer the question whether these are practical or not, this is really easy for this set of dumbbells. They are absolutely very, very practical. If you think about it just a little bit, this one pair of dumbbells is equivalent to 17 different dumbbells. So if you can fit that into such a tiny package, into such a tiny space in your home or living area, almost everybody will have space to use these. Now when you do see the size of these, at the beginning you might think they are a little big, but don't let that deter you from getting these dumbbells, because even though they are a little bit long and wide because they hold so much weight, it really doesn't get in your way when you're trying to use them. I haven't found myself in a situation yet where I think, man, I really wish these were smaller. Well, you know, smaller would be better, but you know, you have 90-pound or 41-kilo dumbbells in your hand, so when you compare that to a normal size of that size dumbbell, there's only going to be, you know, a little bit space that you're saving compared to these dumbbells because they have such a large range of weight that they're holding. One accessory you'll probably also need besides the Selectech rack is a workout bench, but this is not necessarily a necessity, just very helpful when you're doing maybe bench press exercises or anything that requires you to lay down. What I've used at home, besides the bench that I have, is a chair when I do shoulder press or something like that, and also to sit down when I'm doing any bicep curls or tricep extensions that I do over the head. I also use a regular chair for military press, dumbbell press. Now let's not forget these dumbbells are pretty expensive. For one single dumbbell, they're about $350 to $450 depending on where you are in the world and your exchange rate to the US dollar. So per pair, that's about $750 to $1,000 for these dumbbells. Now do keep in mind that you're getting about 17 different dumbbells in this one package. So when you look at it as buying 17 different dumbbells, you're saving a lot of money. And also don't forget the space that you'll save just having 2 dumbbells, because if you have 17 dumbbells, you're gonna need almost an entire room. These 2 dumbbells take up an extremely small amount of space for storing them in a room. So if you can afford these, definitely pull the trigger. Now if you're worried about the weight, Bowflex does offer another size of 5 pounds to 55 pounds, which is about 2 kilos to 25 kilos, 20 kilos, I'm not sure off the top of my head. But keep in mind, if you're thinking that you're gonna get to that upper range of the weight limit pretty fast, it's definitely worth it to go pick up the bigger ones. I was a little concerned at the beginning, but I thought, look, if I work out for a few months, I will easily need more weight right after. So instead of buying the smaller pair first, getting up to that weight, selling them, and then buying the larger pair, I say don't make the risk of losing money on the first pair and just buy the bigger pair. So if you need the lower weight range, I actually would recommend getting these 1090s that go from 10 pounds to 90 pounds. And for the lower weights, just buy a couple extra dumbbells to have next to it. In the end, it's only gonna be maybe 3 extra sets of dumbbells, you know, for the 2.5 to 5 to 7, because after that you have these dumbbells to go from 10 to 90 pounds, which is again 4 to 41 kilos. One thing also to keep in mind is that these dumbbells go in steps of 5 pounds or about 2.5 kilos. So if you find yourself in a range where you absolutely need that dumbbell that's right there in the middle, maybe pick up that dumbbell separately. Or get your weight up. Yeah, but out of all seriousness, push yourself a little bit to use the bigger weight. And if pushing yourself isn't something you want to do, maybe just use a little bit lighter weight and do a few more reps of that weight instead of trying to find a middle weight. Because a jump between 2.5 kilos, 5 pounds really isn't that much in the end. I hope you found this review very helpful and maybe persuade you a little bit more to these dumbbells. I really do recommend them, and I absolutely love them. If you enjoyed this video, be sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more practical reviews like this one, be sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to receive notifications, be sure to click the bell icon down below as well. I hope you all stay healthy, stay safe, and as always, stay practical. I'll see you in the next one.